There's a moment in every man's life that cuts deeper than most. A betrayal by the one woman he thought would never turn her back on him. Maybe she walked away without warning. Maybe she ended things coldly, like none of it ever meant anything. Or maybe, worse, she cheated. However it happens, it hits hard. The pain isn't just emotional. It's physical, like the air's been sucked out of your lungs. Your chest tightens, your thoughts spiral, and your first instinct is to react. You want to call her, confront her, demand answers. You want to yell, cry, tell her exactly what she did and how deeply it broke you. But here's the truth. None of that will give you peace. None of it will fix what happened. Your words won't change her actions, won't make her understand your pain, and won't bring her back with the respect you deserve. The only real move now is silence, not passive silence, but a powerful, deliberate decision to say nothing. Because silence doesn't mean weakness, it means control. It means stepping back from the chaos and choosing not to give her the satisfaction of seeing you broken. When you go quiet, you shift the power back into your hands. You stop playing her game, you stop feeding her ego. She expected a reaction. She expected drama. And when all she gets is stillness, that silence becomes louder than anything you could have said. It becomes a statement she didn't see coming. You're not ignoring her. You're protecting your peace. You're choosing not to waste another breath on someone who didn't value you. That's the first step to healing, not revenge, not explanation, just silence. Because the loudest way to say you lost something real is by saying nothing at all. Silence, when used with intention, becomes your sharpest weapon after betrayal. Most people underestimate it. They think strength is in confrontation, in saying your piece, in getting the last word. But the truth is, nothing shakes a person more than the absence of reaction, especially when they expect you to break. She anticipated you would lash out, call her out, maybe even beg for clarity or closure. She counted on the drama, but when you respond with nothing, no texts, no calls, no anger, something happens that she didn't prepare for. Suddenly, she's not in control of the narrative. She doesn't know what you're thinking, how you feel, or if you even care anymore. That mystery eats at her, and that's when the shift begins. You see, silence isn't just about what you don't say. It's about what you reclaim, your time, your energy, your peace. Every word you don't send, every call you don't make, every moment you don't waste trying to explain yourself. It all adds up to power, because real strength isn't loud. It's quiet. It's still. It's a man who can sit with his pain and not let it turn into chaos. When she realizes you're not reacting, when she sees you've cut her off without a scene, without a fight, that's when she begins to wonder if she ever really understood you at all. And in that silence, she'll feel the absence of something real. That's your edge, that's your win, not by proving anything to her, but by showing her she no longer holds a place in your life. Let her feel what she lost through the stillness. Because when you go silent after betrayal, you're not just walking away, you're rising above. And nothing is more unforgettable than the man who says nothing and still leaves an echo. When you stay silent after betrayal, something powerful starts to happen. She begins to face herself, not the version of her you pleaded with, not the one who spun the story to feel less guilty, the real her, the one who made the choice to hurt you, to walk away, to throw something valuable aside. See, guilt is heavy, but only if it's allowed to land. And most of the time, when you argue or confront her, you actually help her avoid it. You give her a way out. The moment you raise your voice, send that angry message, or try to make her understand, she shifts the blame. Suddenly, you're the emotional one. You're the one who's overreacting. She tells herself that you're dramatic, that you're making a big deal out of nothing. And just like that, she escapes the guilt. But silence. Silence gives her no exit. It forces her to sit in the aftermath without a story to hide behind, and the human mind, when left in the dark, always starts filling in the blanks. She'll wonder what you're thinking. She'll replay what she did. She'll feel the weight of her choices pressing down harder because there's nothing to distract from it. No fight, no noise, just her, the quiet, and the truth she tried to avoid. And the more you say nothing, the more her mind turns against her. Was he stronger than I thought? Did I lose a man who actually saw through me? Did I just ruin something I'll never find again? That's when regret creeps in. Not because you forced it, but because she had nowhere to run from it. So don't speak. Don't explain. Let her sit with what she did. Let the silence close in. Because sometimes the loudest punishment is the one she hears in her own thoughts. Arguing with her after betrayal might feel like the right thing in the moment. You think laying it all out, telling her exactly how much she hurt you, will bring clarity or closure. You think if she hears your pain, she'll finally understand what she did and maybe even feel remorse. But what actually happens is the opposite. The moment you engage, you give her power. You show her that she still controls your emotions, that she still holds a piece of you, even after everything. She doesn't care whether it's love or hate. If she can still get a reaction out of you, she knows she's still relevant. And that's all she needs to feed her ego. What feels like strength to you, pouring your heart out, standing your ground, ends up giving her exactly what she wants: attention. Now you're not a man who walked away. You're a man who's still emotionally tethered. But when you say nothing, that's when the real shift happens. You rob her of the satisfaction. You deny her the story where she's still the center of your focus. Silence tells her she's not worth your time, not worth your explanation, not worth another second of energy. It forces her to sit in her own mind and question what she really meant to you, and the questions that follow. Why didn't he fight for me? Did I not matter? Those questions hurt more than any argument, because she has no answers and you gave her none, and in that space you rise, not as someone trying to prove a point, but as someone who's already moved past it. You don't need to shout to be heard. When you stay quiet, you speak volumes, and that silence, that mystery, will echo in her mind far longer than any fight ever could. Silence doesn't just protect your dignity, it puts you firmly back in control. Right now, your emotions might be screaming for release. You want to reach out, to explain, to defend yourself, to demand closure. That urge is strong because your mind wants resolution, something to tie off the pain. But real strength isn't in reacting, it's in restraint. When you stay silent, you're not running away. You're standing firm. You're choosing to control what you can. Your energy, your focus, your peace. You're refusing to let someone who broke you dictate your next move. And that, more than anything, shows growth. Silence is about self-respect. It's about proving to yourself that your value doesn't depend on anyone else's recognition. You don't need her validation to know your worth. You don't need her apology to move forward. And you definitely don't need a final conversation to feel strong. The moment you stop explaining yourself, the moment you stop chasing answers, is the moment you take your power back. She no longer has access to your thoughts, your time, your presence. And when she realizes that, when she sees you're gone not because you're hurt, but because you chose yourself, that's when the regret sinks in. You don't need to show her what she lost, just become it. Let your silence be the evidence, let your absence do the talking, because a man who knows his worth doesn't need to prove it, he lives it, no begging. No justifying, no turning back, just quiet strength, focused energy, and a future no longer shaped by people who couldn't see your value. So walk away with your head high and your words unspoken. Let her wonder, let her feel the void. Because silence, when chosen, is the loudest and most unforgettable thing you'll ever give.